guys.
A shit show, a pure shit show. It literally takes a village.
I don't know if it was dirty or clean.
Oh my God.
Bad mom.
Like
Yeah.
on wild.
Yes.
Because I'm shining.
Woo! That was good, guys.
Well, this time the drink won't splatter on you.
Yeah. Okay.
Welcome, Lisa, and thank you for being on our show and sharing your story and your tips with us. You want to go ahead and get started and tell us what your story is?
Sure. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me on the show today. I'm very excited. So my name is Lisa Kenny. I am, first and foremost, I'm a wife and I am a mother. I am married to my high school best friend and my college sweetheart. And we have two crazy boys. Nolan is almost 3. He'll be 3 in two weeks. And Wyatt just turned 1 at the end of December. We also have 2 fur babies. So we have a lot of bodies in the house. We live on the East Coast. So we live in Pennsylvania. And right now we're getting slammed with this snowstorm today. So I'm not a big cold person, so it's not fun for me. But yeah, so my story, my career, I am a certified holistic health coach and I'm a yoga instructor. So I am the owner of Lisa Catherine Coaching, which is my health coaching business.
Mm-hmm.
In my practice, I work with busy moms to help them gain back their confidence after having children. So by doing this, I help them heal their relationship with food and with themselves. So, when we become moms, our entire life shifts. Mm-hmm. So many moms get consumed with focusing on their children that they forget about themselves and about their health. So this can lead to weight gain, unhealthy relationships with food, stress, anxiety, depression, lack of identity, so many things. So as a holistic health coach, I take a holistic approach and focus on the entire being and that individual's specific needs in order to achieve their health goals. So, as I mentioned, one of the major things that I help moms with is to heal their relationship with food. And I do this by helping them get off the diet roller coaster and listen to their body. So by practicing intuitive and mindful eating practices. The diet mentality is actually one of the main causes of low self-esteem and confidence in women, in addition to life and stressors, in your life. So, I started working with moms once I became a mom, which makes a lot of sense, right? And I noticed how much pressure society puts on mothers to be, perfect, and to be the perfect size, to bounce back as soon as the baby, pops out, to have endless energy even though you aren't getting any sleep. So many things. That's just a small portion of it. Mm-hmm. And it's so easy for moms to listen to this chatter and fall for it. Many moms do. So, that's why I started working with moms specifically, because I see how it is for moms to, how easy it is for moms to put their health on the back burner.
And can you tell us some of the hard days with your own health and fitness journey?
Yeah, well, so gosh, where to begin? For, like so many other professionals that get into this health and wellness field, I had my own health struggles and my own health journey. So I battled with low self-esteem and confidence due to, diet culture and other aspects of my life, such as unhealthy relationships, my career, stress, so many things. And this ultimately led me to having multiple eating disorders. So I struggled with them for years. I was actually hospitalized due to dehydration and exhaustion due to my eating disorder. So, once I hit rock bottom, I knew I had to change my life. This was before I had kids, but this was the start of my health journey. And my husband now, my boyfriend at the time, encouraged me and supported me through this entire process. And as I was going through recovery, I came to a really big realization. I had seen so many different therapists and nutritionists and eating disorder specialists, and they all helped in their own way. I realized that not just one thing is going to help to heal me.
Mm-hmm.
I had to look at my life as a whole and really get down to the root of what caused this disease. So I started doing my own research, and I discovered holistic health and holistic health coaching. So, I decided at that moment, even though I wasn't really fully recovered yet, that I wanted to get certified to be a holistic health coach so that I could help others that may be struggling, the way that I was, maybe even prevent them from getting to the point where I was. So, although I don't work with women who have eating disorders specifically, I do work with women that have some sort of disordered eating habits, whether it's conscious or unconscious. And, this typically comes from the diet culture that we live in. So that's an abbreviated version of my own health journey, but that's how I got to where I am today.
And that's with the holistic health journey. So what did you start doing differently once you started getting into that?
Once I started getting into holistic health?
The holistic health, yeah.
I started looking at my life as a whole, rather than, putting a Band-Aid on certain things. I started really digging deep into what is the main cause of this. We live in this society that, we take medicine for everything. We want a quick fix for everything. We, everything just seems to be, we want a quick fix, and we don't really look at what is causing these things. So once I discovered holistic health, I really, I had never really even thought about what the real cause is of, with my eating disorder. I had no idea what was causing this. Once I started really digging deep into my life, I found out that it's because I was pushing myself so hard with everything I did. I was overly stressed. I was working 3 jobs. I was, all of these things stacked up on top of each other, and ultimately led me down a road of very unhealthy habits and behaviors and being incredibly unhappy. So once I fixed those things one by one, it wasn't a quick fix. I couldn't I really had to dive deep into each specific aspect of my life. And it took time, it took years. But once I did that, everything changed. Now that I'm recovered and I'm a mother, my exercise is completely different. You have to find time to do it. You have to, and that's the number one thing I say to all of my clients is that it has to be a priority. Anything, whatever it is, if you want to exercise, if you want to lose weight, if you want to, whatever you want to do, you have to make it a priority. So I definitely do, because exercise is incredibly important to me. And I like to call it joyful movement, finding something that you thoroughly enjoy doing, not something that, your friend tells you is great, not something that burns the most calories, not something that's like the biggest fad now. It's something that you really enjoy doing. And for me, it's really anything. I love to move my body. I love being outside. I love to hike. I try to incorporate my children with most of my exercise, and to get them outside, get them moving their bodies as well. I pretty much like anything besides golfing, and I hate cycling. I know that's like the new thing to do. I hate it. Hurts my butt. It's not enjoyable for me. So, I make time almost pretty much every day to exercise, and people probably are sitting there like, how do you do that as a mom? It's because it doesn't look like going to the gym every day. It's going outside for a walk. It's, doing a mommy and me class. It's doing a 15, 20-minute yoga session while my kids are preoccupied doing something. It's, it doesn't have to look perfect, and it won't look perfect, especially as a mom. But moving your body is just so incredibly important.
And is that what differentiates just, I guess, regular health and fitness versus like a holistic view and approach to it, is more like being at peace with it and kind of not pressuring yourself and just doing it because with your children and, like you said, joyful movements and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily, I wouldn't label it, the holistic approach, but I think it's just having, a more open mindset to exercise rather than, I know so many women that if they miss a workout, they beat themselves up, or, things like that. It's just, again, especially as being a mom, you have to be open to flexibility. And if you can't, if you love to go to the gym, you can't go to the gym that day, that's okay. Find something else to do, move your body in a different way that you enjoy.
And what about your approach to like food? I know that this is like holistic health for busy moms. Like, what kind of tips do you have so a tip that you have for working out is making a priority, right? What about, oops, sorry, we just shook the table. What about for busy moms that are on the go, that struggle with food and getting healthy food in their bodies? What advice do you have?
So there's so much behind quote unquote healthy eating. And I know I was listening to one of your podcasts. You had somebody on, sorry, probably hear my children in the background. Screaming downstairs. I was listening to one of your podcasts about, she was, about the anti-diet culture. Mm-hmm. And that's very much so what I teach and what I teach women. So there's so much behind that. And the number one thing that I focus on with women to start and to begin with is to ditch that diet mentality, is to try, society is in our ears all the time telling us that, eat healthy food. This is a good food. This is a bad food. This is, you're going to gain weight by doing this. You're going to ditching all of that and getting a fresh mindset to food is food. Food is fuel. And once you tune into what your body is telling you and not listen to what society is telling you, you'll be much better off. And that's a very short-winded way of saying of the whole entire process. But that is the ultimate first step, is changing that mindset and getting off of the diet roller coaster and changing that diet mindset and listening to your body rather than what everybody else is telling you.
And do you have a few tips on how one can start trying to change their mindset? Do you recommend anything maybe like logging out of social media, or you know what I mean, to try to stop seeing this and playing the comparison game and all of that?
Yeah, some of the simple ways to really start, that isn't going into, diving deep into all of the mindset things is, yes, unfollowing people on social media that maybe make you feel uncomfortable, or maybe you feel like every time you see a post of theirs, you are comparing yourself to them. I went through my entire social media feed and just unfollowed people, even people in my family. Don't tell them. Even people in my family that may make me feel a certain way. And that's a huge thing, is that, and maybe even stop ordering those magazines, those shape magazines, those, that we're all guilty of ordering and looking at, but those are so toxic. They're telling you all of these things that you should do, these diets you should go on, what has worked for this celebrity, why they lost this much weight. I mean, all of these things we're just so consumed in, some of which we have no idea. Like it's just going in one ear, and it's like we don't even realize it. So becoming really aware of all of these things that are going on and how it makes you feel. Reality TV is a big one too. Some people absolutely love it. And I'm not saying everyone go and stop watching their reality television shows, but if you start to compare yourself to certain people on these shows, maybe it's not something you should be watching. These are just simple practices to like really try to get in tune with how you feel, or if you are comparing yourself to certain people, maybe, or if you have a certain friend who you sit down with and all you guys talk about is what diet you should go on, or I was feeling really fat today, and I'm not going to eat this today because I've just been feeling really bad about myself. Maybe address that to that person and say, maybe we shouldn't talk this way. Maybe we should talk about some other things. Mm-hmm. Just bringing awareness to that diet culture, to things that are making you feel uncomfortable.
As far as making time, like for busy moms, making time to work out, do you give them actionable steps on how to make that time? Because I feel like it's kind of easy to say like, okay, like make the time, but do you kind of hold their hand through the process of carving out that time to make it a priority?
I do, yeah. So my whole coaching practice is completely individualized, and it's one-on-one. So I literally hold their hand through the entire process. And one of the biggest things that we focus on is creating time, because that is one thing that most moms say they can't find the time. So we will look at the person's schedule, figure it out. So some tips that I always say is go through your schedule. So it is 99% of the time when we sit down and we go through a mom's schedule, there are so many things in their schedule that just do not need to be there. We pile our schedule with everything. We make, our day jam-packed. But most of the time, we can take one or two things out of that schedule and make time for us without affecting our day. So that's one way. Another way is really going through your to-do list. Again, this is almost the same kind of concept, but going through your to-do list, me personally, I know a lot of moms do too, make a to-do list, the night before or the day, that day of what needs to be done, limiting that to-do list to 2 or 3 things and making sure those 2 or 3 things get finished. And then that's it, being okay with that for that day. You don't need a laundry list of 10, 15, 20 things to get done that day. Just do 2 or 3 things that need to be done and be okay with that so that you can have time for yourself. And scheduling it like it's an appointment, like it's a doctor's appointment. Carve that chunk of time out, whether it's every day, whether it's 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days, whatever it is, and putting it in your calendar, putting it in your phone, and making it like it's an appointment, something that you can't just bypass and skip it.
Nice. Really quick. So, and I know you had mentioned like you train people or you work with people on how to lose weight while regaining their confidence and enjoying the process. How do you do that? Especially as moms, we have all this extra mush and gush, like how do you kind of help people to accept that while they're trying to change that? You know what I mean? Because that's some of our biggest insecurities. How do you navigate that?
So how do I navigate gaining the confidence portion throughout the entire weight loss journey? So that, so I do say, and the number one thing that I say to moms, especially about the weight loss process, is surprisingly, we don't focus on the weight loss concept. Moms come to me, they want to lose weight. Okay, that's fine. And I support that. I understand. I understand women want to lose weight, but I also say that's not what we're going to focus on. Because once we stop focusing on that, and when we start focusing on losing that diet mentality, gaining the confidence, the whole process, the weight loss, if there is weight to be lost, many times there isn't, and that's a whole another topic of body size and having a larger body. And so gaining that confidence first and putting the weight loss idea on the back burner for now is the first step. So, and like I said, the weight will come off if there is weight to lose. But just by losing that diet mentality, gaining confidence, focusing on just a happier, healthier life and mindset, the weight will come off if it's necessary. And I know that sounds like, oh, that's just like that's magic, but it kind of is. Focusing on yourself, putting yourself making yourself a priority, getting that confidence back, learning how to be in tune with your body and your mind. And that is so much as to why women gain weight, because they're unhappy with certain areas in their life. So fixing that first, then the weight kind of just comes off without focusing on it so much. And that's where the diets are, the diets just focus on that. They don't focus on anything else that's going on in your life that are pretty much always the reason behind the weight gain.
So by focusing on the confidence, do you have them kind of highlight the things that they like about themselves or and try to ignore the things that they don't like, that they're, self-confident
or accept their
insecure?
new body as a mom? Is that what you're trying to say? Or
I'm sorry.
So do you try to have them focus more on the positive things that they like about their body rather than the negative things that they want to change?
Yeah, exactly.
How you build the confidence?
Yeah, there's so many practices that I have for my clients. And yes, that's one of them is focusing. We do some mirror work where you look in the mirror, you write down 5 things that you love about your body, and you focus on those. And it truly is a mind game. I mean, that's just one thing that can start to bring confidence to you. A lot of journaling work, it's a lot of mindset work, and getting down to the root cause of what it is, why it is you are feeling insecure about these things. And like I said, every body is different, and that's where we need to start accepting and loving our body how it is. And that's why the diet mentality and the society that we live in is so toxic, because they're telling us that we need to look this certain way, we need to be this certain body size, when that's just plain wrong. That is not, everyone's different. Everyone has a different body, and as moms, our bodies are constantly changing. You're having more kids, you're and just being okay and accepting how it is now is the biggest part of it. Loving your body how it is now. And it's okay. Like I said, it's okay if you have weight to lose and you want to lose weight for health purposes. That's okay. But first, coming from that place of, wanting to lose weight from a place of self-love instead of self-hatred. Loving yourself how it is now, loving your body, accepting and feeling confident in your body how it is now, but still wanting to lose weight because of health purposes is fine. But if you want to lose weight just because you hate your body, you think it's ugly, you want to, you want to look like the model on that cover of the magazine or whatever, that is not an okay reason to want to lose weight, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Now, go ahead. Sorry.
How do you help your clients, or what do you do to help clients who may lose motivation along that journey with you? Like, what, I'm sure it's happened with me, like where I'll get distracted with my kids or something, like some life altering situation comes on, and then like I totally lose motivation in whatever fitness or health journey I'm on at that moment. Like, do you ever come across clients like that where they lose motivation and focus like halfway, and what do you do to help them like
keep going,
get back on track?
Yeah, that's completely normal, right? we get busy, we get unmotivated, and we just want to give up. But in my health coaching practice, that is the biggest part of my coaching, is to motivate you and to hold you accountable. So I literally follow up with my clients, text them, if not every day, every other day. We have weekly or bi-weekly phone calls to check in and see how everyone's doing. Because that is the hardest part of any health goal, achieving any health goal, is the motivation and the accountability factor, especially for moms, right? So that is a huge part of my practice, is to hold your hand, hold you accountable, keep you motivated throughout the entire process.
Now, when I think of holistic health, I think of like sage and crystals and meditation and all that, but I haven't heard you say any of that. So I'm wondering, like,
what exactly
is your position more like, what makes it holistic? Is it more like a mindset, like a positive mindset?
Yes, I'm not very woo-woo, I will say that. And there's a lot of holistic health practitioners that are, and nothing wrong with that. I love all the woo-woo stuff. I'm not against it, but that's not me. So holistic health basically just means taking a look. I was about to say a holistic look, but
All right.
Understand? No, taking a look at the entire person. So everything that's going on in that person's life, whether it be and looking at it if I'm working with a client, I take a look at her specific needs in her life. Sorry about that. Screaming.
It's a mom podcast. It's
Oh my
expected.
goodness. No, but so taking a look at the person's specific needs and looking at their entire life. So sometimes I'll give you an example. So sometimes women, really need some extra sleep. They're not sleeping well, and that's actually what's holding them back from losing weight. Some people are extremely stressed. We figure out what is going on in their life that's causing this stress and this anxiety. So taking a look at the person's whole life, not just food, not just exercise, not just one specific thing, but everything that's going on in that person's life. If that makes sense, if I answered that correctly for you.
So what is life like now that you implemented these skills?
Geez, I mean, my entire life has changed since I became a holistic health coach. And since I discovered holistic health in general, my health was failing terribly. And I was incredibly stressed out. I was working a career that I absolutely hated. I had relationships that were just toxic. I had so much in my life that I just had no idea was causing me such a deterioration in my health until I really took a look at my life as a whole and figured out that I need to change things. I need to, fix my relationship with myself. I need to get out of this career. I just need to change. And like I said, it wasn't a quick fix. It took time. And I'm constantly growing, just like everybody is. Your life is constantly changing, and I'm constantly learning more things about myself that I never knew. But it is truly, I feel so blessed that I came across this, because it has truly changed my life. And I think back, I was just talking to my husband about this the other day, because he's seen me through it all. And I said to him, I was like, it's so funny. This is just a small piece of my transformation. But I was like, can you imagine, like, we keep dessert in our house. Like, I keep, chocolate and cookies and all of these things in our house, when years ago, there's no way I would have ever kept any of that in my house, because I would be too afraid that I would eat it all, or, that I would be breaking my diet, or, and it's just amazing how, I guess the best way to describe it is just freedom. It's freedom from food. It's freedom. Like, I never think about that anymore. And I'm just happy. I don't put pressure on myself to do certain things anymore, to act a certain way, because that's what society is telling us to do. It's freedom, I think, is the best word.
Then what would you tell listeners who are struggling with prioritizing their health? Where would you tell them to start?
Well, that's the first thing. That is the first step. Like I told you in the beginning, is you have to make a conscious effort to actually prioritize it. to schedule it, to make it something that is the utmost importance to you. You know, by making your mental, your emotional, your physical health a priority, you aren't just helping yourself. You know, you're creating a better atmosphere for your children and for your family. You know, by making sure that you prioritize yourself, you'll be more present, you'll be more happy, you'll be less stressed, you'll be less irritable, and you'll be the best person that you can be. Mm-hmm. So that is the first thing, is that you have to prioritize yourself. If you really want to better your health.
Well, thank you, Lisa, for all your wisdom. Where can people find you? And we'll make sure to link that below.
Yeah, so you can find me at Lisa Catherine Coaching, and that's Catherine with a C.com. You can find me on Instagram, on Facebook. Instagram, it's at Lisa_Catherine_coaching. Facebook, Lisa Catherine Health Coach. I do have a Facebook group where I support moms and provide advice and tips and motivation and freebies and giveaways and all that stuff. It's Love Your Mommy Body group.
And you also have a free ebook, right? You want to tell us about that?
I do, yeah. So you can actually head over to my website. It's called Feel Confident in Your Post-Baby Body. It is not just for women who just had babies. It's for any mom. And you can head over to my website, LisaCatherineCoaching.com. Right on the front page, you can sign up for that freebie.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I know we have a lot of busy moms that listen, so this will be good to check out and get some wisdom from you. Thank you. We appreciate you for coming on here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Thanks so much for hanging out with us. If you want to catch up on our previous episodes, visit mamasmimosas.com, where you'll get access to all of our podcast show notes, our YouTube videos, and our private Facebook group, where we chat with you about each episode topic and host live question and answers with our favorite mom tribe. Can't wait to see you there.